members who weren't able to make it today. And I'll go ahead and open up the chat windows back again. And for those that have alerted us that you can hear us, I would love to hear from you that you can indeed see our screen. Okay, and I think we are in great shape. And great. Oh, nice to see so many familiar faces online. Oh, you want something salacious? Well, let me see. I can't think of anything. Give me time.
Good morning, everyone. It's Dana.
Hi, Dana. Everybody can hear us, and we are just getting ready to get started. I'll just welcome everybody briefly. This is Gretchen, your Live Association Manager. Welcome to our annual meeting. We are recording the meeting, and we'll have the slide deck and recording available on our members only website not too long after the meeting today. So I'm going to turn it over to Megan, and Megan, just let me know when to prompt to advance the slides.
Sure, great, thank you, Gretchen. This is Megan Vixie. I am currently the president-elect of Alive, and I'm actually going to pass it over to Dana, who is our current president. So I'm going to just introduce Dana here. She's going to help kick us off of our agenda today and then kind of help us move through the presentation. So Dana, I will turn it over to you to get us started.
Thanks, Megan. This is Dana Litwin, for those of you who don't know me. Thanks, everyone, for tuning in today. I realized I said good morning because I'm on the West Coast. So is Megan Vixie, and it's afternoon for most of the rest of you. So yeah, thanks for coming. We've got a lot of great stuff to cover that has happened this year and that we're looking forward to in 2020. So Gretchen, if you could please go to the next slide. Thank you. A little housekeeping. Here's what shape of show looks like today. We'll call to order. This is an official meeting. Welcome and introductions. Get to know myself and Megan and the rest of our current board. Some more information from me, our 2020 Board of Directors slate that you voted for, committee reports, and Q&A, invitations to join us in some of our projects and work, and lots more great news to come through the rest of this year and 2020, and then we'll be done. So be very respectful and efficient with everyone's time and keep the ball rolling. Motion to call to order. So I believe we have. I know we've, Megan puts in the chat, so moved. And we are off and away. Thank you, Faiza, for seconding. Great, our meeting is in order thanks to Robert's Rules of Order. And also, as Gretchen's reminding us in the chat box, feel free to post any questions or comments in the chat, and we have time carved out towards the end of the meeting for that, and it's possible that we might be able to address your questions as we go, as they're pertinent to the slide. Thank you so much. Gretchen, next slide, please. This is me, and this is Megan. I've been on the board since 2013. It's been my honor and privilege to be the president this year, and on a lot of committees, especially membership committee, has been very rewarding part of my experience with Alive, and I'm very, very proud to have Megan Vixie take the reins in 2020 with our new board slate. Megan and I will be guiding you through this. We might have our administrative manager for Alive, Gretchen, chime in with information. We'll also have some guest reporting by some of our board members who are chairs of committees to report out on their projects and some really amazing progress that has been made on a lot of fronts with Alive this year. It's getting cut up on the chat. Great. Megan, you want to talk about yourself a little too?
Sure. I've been on the board, I believe, since 2016. So I've just been working closely with Dana and Jason Frenzel, who's also our past president, and some of the great work that we've been doing. So I'm just really excited to see where we take it over the next few years, and hopefully you'll all agree with kind of the direction that we're going, and hopefully want to join us in kind of fulfilling that vision that we have. So, thank you.
Thanks so much. Next slide, please, Gretchen. Thank you. Here's our mission. Hopefully you're all very familiar with it. I'm particularly excited that 2019 has been our 10-year anniversary. Gretchen, who's our administrative manager, has been involved from the get-go with Alive, so that's a particular merit and value to us as an organization, really invaluable. And we, again, invite you to join us in our vision of being the essential professional resource and advocate for those who engage, motivate, and celebrate volunteers and their vital contributions to our society. So congrats on 10 years, and those of us and those members who are tuning in today who've been with us the entire time. And we did celebrate some of our 10-year anniversary kind of founding members in a recent newsletter, I believe, but we'll happily keep talking about it. So some transitions, some fantastic new talent brought to our board of directors, the executive committee, myself and Megan Vixie, going into 2020. We'll be making these changes. We're technically doing this transition just at the very end of this year, but this board members will carry us into 2020 and beyond. So we're really happy to welcome new board members, Patrick and Kelly and Michelle and Ashley, and absolutely fantastic, very hardworking. This is definitely a working board. This is what you've signed up for. Continuing Megan Vixie as president, Michelle Raymer as president-elect, Sean Devereaux tagging in as treasurer. Our past treasurer, Brian's done a really wonderful job as we've grown as an organization and financially in managing the finances of the National Alliance for Volunteer Engagement as their fiscal agent. He's done a fantastic job, and Sean's tagging in to take over to do wonderful work as well. Mark Smith, our tireless secretary, Karen coming in as VP of membership, and Audrey coming in as VP of marketing. Jennifer's done some really great special projects for us this past year, including our first ever Impact Awards. And I think you've all seen and heard about that quite a bit on social media and in our newsletters. And Kayla's been just absolutely wonderful in our committees, and Allison has been very, very hard at work on her special projects as well. And we're really excited to expand the representation regionally of our board members going into this late 2019-2020 slate. So welcome new board members and new members of the organization. Next slide, please. So talking about the regional map, we're always striving to get pretty good balance. For a while there, it was very, with myself included, it was very heavily tipped to California and the West Coast. And we're always looking for, you know, even more Upper West or Mountain or Midwest representation as well. And we're really happy to have Patrick and Michelle join and balance out our East Coast Atlantic representation. My dear friend and colleague, Jason Frenzel of the Great Lakes region, is terming off the board. So there might be some opportunities for other board members to join as we get into the election slate later in 2020. And of course, all of our members can join special projects. We'll be talking about that a little later on. So even if you're not on the board, you can be on committees and you can serve us in a variety of other ways and special projects per your own interests. Sounds good. Megan or Gretchen, anything else to add about the regional representation? No? Okay, sounds good. Moving on. Talk about Jason and our great work together. We joined the board at the same time. Brian's been an absolutely incredible treasurer. We've had some unprecedented growth and success financially and in membership and in scope and bandwidth of projects in the last few years. Jason and I have been on the executive committee and joined by Megan Vixie and Michelle and Karen, some other great talent, but Brian's really been invaluable. Megan, did you want to say, or Gretchen, say anything else about this so I don't just praise myself on this slide?
Sure. Yes, we wanted to just put in a special thanks to these fabulous 3 board members that are going to be terming off the board at the end of this year. And through their 6 years of dedication to what we've done, we've really been able to not only increase and grow our membership, but also be able to really grow our programming, our offerings, our partnerships. This has really been a truly hardworking board over the last 6 years to really make Alive what it is today. And so I personally am very grateful for all the work that they've done and the foundation that has been built. And we just want to continue to honor, their legacy through the work that they've done. And I'm sure we'll continue to celebrate you again in our December newsletter and be able to kind of put out all the great accomplishments that have happened over the last 6 years with all 3 of you. And we're grateful that we're not losing you and that you will still be members of Alive and can tap into you for committees and other work. But again, these, and yes, for what Faiza is saying here, really championing the movement of the field forward. So just wanted to give a special thanks to these 3 for the work that they've done. And we'll just continue to celebrate you as many times as we can until we can't, but I think we can continue. So thank you.
This is Gretchen, and I would just really echo what Megan has said. And just from a professional level, I have really enjoyed working with Dana, Jason, and Brian. I've learned so much from them, and it's been just a pleasure to work for them. And I so appreciate their commitment. And really, when they first all came on board, I think they had some really specific long-range plans, and I appreciate their stick-to-itiveness. That many of those things and a lot more have happened along the way. And then personally, it's just been a joy to get to know such wonderful people, colleagues that I know that friendships will remain. And I think that's a great thing about Alive and being able to, do that networking. And I've gained so many wonderful friends through my experience in working with the board of directors and folks on committees and our members.
Okay, I'm going to try to get to the slideshow without crying now, so thanks for that. And next slide, please. Thank you. Genuinely, thank you. President's report. A lot of my work as president of Alive has been as a side special project in addition to the usual duties, which are take up quite a bit of time and are absolutely wonderful and worthwhile. We've also been the fiscal agent and supporting foundation piece of the newly formed National Alliance for Volunteer Engagement. I've been working not just as the president of Alive and liaising and kind of coordinating with our treasurers and other officers around our role as grant managers and fiscal agents for the Alliance. I've also been a pro bono facilitator along with Betsy McFarland as a contracted facilitator in the development and launch of the Alliance. And we're very excited that we're engaging in a strategic plan with Laura Noonan Consulting. We're already into that work. We're going to have a specific retreat for the leadership team and advisors to have a couple of days to really hash out some action items and work plan for the strategic plan, and all of that will be published both cross-shared in Alive newsletters and on the Alliance website, allianceforengagement.org, as we have action items announced. And the main roles that Gretchen has also done in support of the Alliance is really smoothing over the process and facilitating working group meetings and special projects and side meetings. So the main working groups with the Alliance are communications, which covers not just kind of marketing and typical PR thoughts of communications, but also a tech subgroup has been hard at work. Research and accreditation. The communications team for the Alliance is chaired by Cassie Bonnet out of Denver, Colorado. Research and accreditation team, which is already deep into some very significant projects, including archiving a lot of information in conjunction with the Susan J. Ellis Foundation and Energize Inc. and seeing what research is out there, and also partnering with the newly formed Generosity Commission, of which Points of Light is a member. So there's some really great stuff already occurring, and the strategic plan will really focus the work of the Alliance with the feedback from you, our sector, and our community. And this is a cross-sector, multi-sector venture. So we're in the process now of getting a lot of feedback from external and internal interviews, and very excited to see what happens with our future convenings, which are also underway. And most importantly, I think to everyone, that clear national vision. And these are directives that came out of the gathering at MAVA National Summit in 2017 that directly led to the formation of the Alliance as it is today. So again, a lot of work in the last couple of years in conjunction with my work in Alive going into this, and much more exciting news to come for the Alliance in 2020. Any quick questions or comments?
Yeah, Dana, this is Gretchen. There's a question from Sean.
Yes.
Can you please explain what the Alliance is? How is it different than Alive, and how does it benefit our members?
Yes, great question. So the National Alliance for Volunteer Engagement is a cross-sector organization that is not meant to and does not replace any current organizations like Alive or Points of Light or Volunteer Match or Volunteer Pro, any of that. What it is it's acting as an umbrella and an amplifier to convey the value of using volunteerism for any organization, whether they're currently in our sector or not. And the multi-sector aspect of it is that we have members on our leadership team and advisory board and in our working groups who are not just great leaders and new voices and fresh perspectives in the leader of volunteer sector, but we're also reaching across to health, to government, to faith, to funders, bringing funders and funding into the conversation, and how that works to amplify and advocate for the value of volunteerism in organizations and at the regional and national level in North America. So it's really a coming together of everyone who's currently active in the sector, and inviting the conversation to open up to people who might be in organizations where volunteers or volunteerism is an aspect of their mission, and they've been siloed. They've been in their own kind of separate tower or area, perhaps doing volunteering or that strategic practice a little differently than we have in our sector, and just to really combine this conversation into one giant perfect mecca bot of advocacy for volunteerism. Thanks, Sean. I probably totally over-explained that. If you want really, really, really gritty details, please go to allianceforengagement.org and look at the mission statement and the call to action that's there, the website that is right on this page. Thanks so much. Perfect. That is the correct URL for National Alliance for, it should exist. The website should exist. Say allianceforengagement.org, unless I misspelled something. Oh, it should exist, unless we're doing a little bit of work on it today. There it is. Heather's found it. Great. Awesome. Glad it works. Get those tech gremlins out of the way. Next slide, please. Some of our partners, and many of these have been with us for a long, long time, and some are newer to join, but this is just as many partners as we could fit on this page. We're always working on new partnerships. Mark Smith, our secretary, has done a wonderful draft of kind of a criteria, a spreadsheet of how to choose partnerships. We're approached all the time. And of course, as Gretchen's mentioning in the chat, Better Impact is the supporter and the host in the studio in which we broadcast from the hybrid conference that just occurred late in October. Hopefully a lot of you tuned into that and saw me and Faiza and Erin and Rob on the air, and Liza on the air. And IJOVA, we're currently partnering with them and kind of helping to host some of their activities, and lots of background check and software, not just Better Impact, but other kinds of membership or product discounts through your membership with Alive, including with Volunteer Match, with VSIS, Of course, hopefully we have other CVAs like myself. I know FISA is very involved on the board of CCVA, and that's been a very, very strong sister agency partnership over the years and will continue. Insurance, so almost any kind of software or product or service that a leader of volunteers would need in their career, Alive membership has a benefit, a discount, an extra option to assist you and bolster those services within your program. If there's something here that you don't see, just because it's a lot to fit on one slide, again, we always have more things and more partnerships in development. And we are also a great one-stop shopping for partners like Volunteer Match and Toby with Volunteer Pro, for who else are having workshops and who is, kind of what our calendar of events is for our workshops and complimentary workshops from some of our partners and webinars, discounts on conferences, regional representation, and things like that. So again, we're kind of updating this all the time, but this is an easy, quick snapshots. And you can always look on the members only side of the membership and log in to see what is the most up to date for that. Thanks so much. Next slide, please. Great. Leadership development and staffing report. It's been wonderful knowing and working with Megan. I'll continue to work as a committee member, although not on the executive committee or board member into 2020. So I'll say that, we got a lot done in 2019, including developed goals tracking document, areas of responsibility, a spreadsheet that we use for our board and committees. A great succession plan for the executive committee over the next few years, and backup plans of backup plans, because we know that life happens and things change. And we do have, a volunteer application process for members to get involved with Alive on committees, and eventually in the next round of elections. You want to see what opportunities there are on the board. That's always a great way to be very directly involved. Megan, do you want to talk about the 2020 goals, since you'll be tagging in and bringing those home?
Sure. So for the 2020 goals, as we're looking at, our development and staffing, we want to really look at all of our, not only HR policies and procedures, but, some of the partnership MOU matrix that's also there. We really just want to kind of spend some time checking up some things throughout the organization, which goes along with succession planning. So it makes the transition a lot easier when we have new board members step into various roles. So we've just been working on that quite a bit this year as well, and just kind of documenting our processes and procedures. And we're going to continue to do that throughout 2020, just so that we can make sure that this organization can be sustained over time, and just make it a lot easier to onboard our new folks into the different areas that we have, as well as our volunteers and members that want to get involved. So we just want to make the process as easy as possible. And we also have talked about establishing kind of a partner review subcommittee to really have a good vetting process when we're looking at partnerships. We get approached quite a bit from different organizations, and Dana's done a great job in facilitating those conversations with our board. And so we just kind of wanted to formalize that a little bit more. So we're just going to be doing that in 2020.
Yes, and Megan, just if you haven't figured out yet, you're going to get a lot of requests to the President at Alive email for all sorts of stuff all the time. And sorting through that is interesting. And I think this process will really, really help, because it can be both a foundation for great partnerships, but at first glance, sometimes it's hard to decide what's going to be a great future partnership on cutting edge of technology or any other processes that are happening in the field, and what is like a giant spam bot attack. So you're going to look forward to that in the inbox.
I'm looking forward to it.
I'll handle it for the next little while, and then
Okay.
back to you. Wonderful. Thanks, Gretchen. Next slide, please. Doo-doo-doo. Great. So again, we've grown considerably in the last 6 years that I've been on the board. That was one of Jason and mine's and the new board members that joined kind of in that generation, Brian included, to really bring Alive to its full vitality, to strength, to sustainability, financial sustainability, leadership succession plan, really give maximum value and benefit of products and partnerships and peer network to our members. And that's reflected financially in membership growth, in other revenue streams. Brian has been really genius at brainstorming some other revenue streams. And then in our role as fiscal agent for the Alliance, we're in charge of managing a few different grants for them, including the grant from Fidelity Trustees Charitable Initiative that is funding the strategic plan for the Alliance. So this is kind of the Alive's books snapshot of what we've got going on with our finances right now. Fairly healthy. We run a pretty tight ship, and we're always looking for more ideas. So even if you are interested in joining us in special projects that may lead to actual volunteering, or even if you have suggestions or ideas of grants to pursue or projects that support the work that we're doing, we're happy to hear ideas as well. Any questions on the money numbers page? Good. Don't see anything popping up in chat. Cool. You can percolate on it. If anyone has any questions, we'll get to that at the end as well. I just want to give you a snapshot. Breaking down expenses just a little bit more, full transparency for our different committees and programs. Gretchen's done a wonderful job in finding the most efficient webinar delivery platforms and deals out there. Particularly last year, there was some switching over that's been very beneficial to our bottom line. So we appreciate that dogged energy and doing things very well and very efficiently that Gretchen brings to the table with us. And again, a lot of large event that we're doing year by year is that hybrid conference, and it's, I think, a very successful way to reach. Gosh, Gretchen, you can correct me if I'm wrong, well over 1,000 people this year, including many memberships. And it also helps widen the awareness of Alive and our benefits, and the awareness of our Canadian partners, of which FISA is a part, VMPC, Volunteer Management Professionals of Canada, and co-sponsoring the hybrid conference. I think it's great to have that cooperation and collaborative effort. And it's definitely been quite a success growing this, and there's always more to improve on and more growth. So getting into, again, just a nice, where'd we go? Did we skip a couple? I think we got trigger happy on the slides. There we go. So what it's boiling down to, kind of projecting the last little bit, getting into, where are we? There we are. Into the 2020 budget, and what that's going to look like is, a variance of about a few $1,000s. And that's great to have a little bit of a safety cushion in the bank. Nobody's getting rich off of this venture. I can guarantee you we really put the maximum value of what we create back into our memberships for you, because this is all about all of you. Cool, thanks so much. Now we can get slide happy again.
And looks like Karen is up for the membership report.
Welcome, Karen.
Thanks, Gretchen and Dana. So to give a brief update for membership, first I'd like to thank all of the 2019 committee members. So we had Beth Healy, Naomi Howitt, Jared McCannell, Karina Sadler, Kayla Paulson, and Rachel Krimpansky. And they were really the ones to support and do a lot of the legwork. So thank you to them, and then also Dana and Gretchen for joining every month and really facilitating us getting everything done. So you'll see we welcomed 132 new members. We also supported 31 local associations. We also really started looking at the benefits we're offering membership, which is leading us to our 2020 goals. So for 2020, we're really looking at retention, as well as strengthening our internal volunteer processes So when you register to become a member, we want to make sure we have the follow-up and can support you in learning all about what we provide to our members, as well as how to navigate websites and things like that. Dana or Gretchen,
Wonderful.
is there anything you want to add? Okay.
That's a lot. And Karen, you've done an amazing job with all of this and really pulled together a fantastic committee. And I'm excited for the growth that we'll see in 2020. And, the goals that we have around that. And we're also going into our, Megan, is it our second cycle going into the mentor program that we're in the middle of right now?
Yes, you're correct.
Yeah, and so that's been great for mentoring individual memberships, and now we're growing a mentor program for local associations, and that's headed by past president Jason Frenzel, and that's underway as well. So again, lots of benefits, programs, projects going on, and if you have any questions about that, just tap into the website or email Gretchen or myself, and we're happy to get you steered towards the resources that you need for what you're doing right now.
And Dana, this is Gretchen. We've got a couple of quick questions. One has to do with the budget, and because we're in the middle of membership, maybe we'll come back to that at the end.
Okay.
But there is a current membership question. Heather Crandall asks about what is support for local associations for volunteer engagement professionals look like in practice? And if it's okay, we could actually pass that along to Mark, who was kind of chairing up that subgroup. Mark, if we could put you on the spot and you could talk about that for a moment.
Yeah,
I'm going to push the button that says allow to talk.
Unmute Mark.
Come on.
Come on, Mark, unmute yourself. I know you
Okay.
can.
It says talking permitted for Mark.
If he unmutes at his end.
Yeah, unmute your end too, Mark.
We know you're there, and you're great at different voices too, Mark, so you can come on with any of the voices that you want to use. Nope, I don't know why we're not hearing him.
I think Mark is just a call-in listener. As it looks like.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
It's okay.
I think he's able to.
He can't get to audio. He's saying that's fine.
Oh, okay. Well, I can go over it briefly.
Yeah, Gretchen, go for it.
Yeah, so what that looks like is that we are kind of doing it in three different levels. So it's, number one, we're really trying to expand that national network, because we know in terms of what we hear from our members, from our peers and partner organizations is, advocacy is a really important role that Alive can play. And in order to be able to get the word out, to be able to connect, and all of those things, to be able to partner more with our local associations, which there's so much great work happening in over 130 local associations around the United States, having a national network where we can get a hold of people and let them know what's happening. And as you know, I do travel and try to visit local associations when I'm in the area, and communicating people either with in person or an email. There are times when it's clear that some local associations are behind the times and aren't aware of what's happening on the regional, state, or national level. So that's the first thing, is we're trying to build this national network. And Alive is not intending to be the be-all, end-all of saying, you have to do this way. It's about building a support network, which leads us to the next project. And we're working on a handbook for local associations, which is full of resources, as in, templates or information, guidelines, examples for all sorts of things about running a local professional association. And it's really going to be, kind of a work in progress. If you want to contact Mark online, you could do that through our website. Just go to our page and you can find out a little bit more about that. And if you've got something in your local association that's working great, we'd love to add that to our handbook. But it's really meant to be a resource for any that are in all those different stages that we know they are, or especially if you're thinking of setting up a local association in your area. It's not about reinventing the wheel. We want to be able to share those supports and resources that people are getting, that information from their peers. Mm-hmm. And then the third thing is just working on that individual mentor project, and that we're kind of the beta testing right now, and Jason is our mentor for a local association who is kind of in that little valley, which many go through, whereas, you know, they've been around for a long time, but there's a lot of apathy. They're working on getting some policies and procedures, you know, connected and freshened up. So we'll be strengthening that program next year. So those are the big three things and more. And if you've got ideas that you would like to see, please do contact us. Mark, I hope I've done that justice. And I'll go back on mute.
Thanks so much, Gretchen, for filling that out. And Heather thanks us for giving more detail. And yeah, it's an interesting, curious thing, and it's a very necessary thing. So Mark sends his approval. Thanks, Gretchen. He gave it a thumbs up, not a thumbs down. So that's always a good sign.
Great. And if I could just also say, you know, we're trying to cover both things, and we want to have individual members who value Alive as the only national professional association for all the things that provides. But we also want to encourage local associations to become members, to help bring that advocacy and information to all of their members, you know, whether or not they're individual members. We'd want people to be both to really strengthen our network. But, you know, so there is value in both, and we'd encourage people to check both of those out.
Absolutely. Thanks so much, Gretchen. And yeah, I think we're ready to move it right along here, making good time. And Karen, do you want to talk about the membership survey results here?
Yep. So thank you to everyone who completed the survey. As you'll see, we had 43 people respond. So these are just the high-level overviews. What we'll do with this feedback is the exec committee had a great conversation on Monday this week about it, and then the entire board will be doing a deep dive into the comments and trends that we're seeing. And where that goes is, especially from the comments, that will educate and has already been shared with each committee for them to take forward in how to accomplish their 2020 goals. So we did notice that a lot of the comments we received were kind of what we were expecting to hear, and so they'll be kind of the guiding force and point for us to continue the great work we have planned in 2020. The one thing I would like to point out is in that how likely to renew your membership, we did get a lot of comments about pricing and the cost of being a member. And we've decided that in 2020, we will not be adjusting our membership fees, so they will stay the same. And we will be really looking to increase your benefits. So we're hoping that you will find more and more benefits of being a part of this wonderful organization. So that's just an immediate feedback on many of the comments. So thank you.
Thanks, Karen. It's good to see that, you know, vast majority are going to renew their membership. And also, I don't know that we had a slide specifically for this, but another thing that we've become very data-driven, much more data-driven in the last couple of years, and certainly going forward, that's the direction we're going with, is data-informed, which is a great foundation to use. And we'll be kind of, for our own benefit, breaking out some data and sharing this in future newsletters and reports of kind of our individual membership and our local association memberships, and what that looks like, and how the benefits and value that we offer is good for both, and how each one can be tailored to be even more nimble in the way the benefits work for both individuals and for groups and people who belong to those local dovias and associations. So thanks so much, Karen, for getting into the graphics with it. Cool. I think we're ready. Next slide, thanks. Hybrid conference. This was a lot of fun. Gretchen, Michelle, do you want to go for programs and advocacy if you are unmuted and on the line?
Yeah, I'll let Gretchen cover the hybrid conference and then I'll jump in.
Great, thanks. Go for it, Gretchen.
Thank you. It kind of all says it here. We had a wonderful turnout. We had 48 remote locations across the US and Canada, and that's a big jump from 35 from last year, and our theme this year was "The Future is Now, Tech Trends, Transforming 2020 and Beyond." We have already chosen the topic for next year, and we're looking at managing risk in all the different ways. That means managing risk in your career, managing risk in your volunteer program, all those different ways. So stay tuned. It will be the third week of October, the 20th and 21st, same format, and we'll be rolling out more information about that after the first of the year. But just want to thank all the support of the board members. Many of them hosted in their local associations, and it was great to see that support, and we really did. We had great nationwide representation as well. We're still getting those numbers in, and I expect we will hit plus 1,000 attendees, so we can safely say we are the largest conference for volunteer engagement professionals in North America. And I will end there and go to the next slide.
Great, thanks. Go ahead, Michelle.
Yeah, I want to start things off similar to Karen. For our committee, a huge shout out to the amazing volunteers who have served on our committee in 2019. So Emily, Allison, Rebecca, Jennifer, both Paulas, Mindy, and Bonnie. We really have a strong committee and do what we do without them. So a huge thanks to all of you. Some of the great accomplishments that we have had over the past year is hosting our monthly Alive Academy webinar. So we've had topics from advocacy, taking volunteer training online, certificates, credentialing, and certification. We had a presentation from our friends over in England with NCBO about a study they did on the volunteer experience. We just last month hosted one on research and practice, so hopefully you're able to participate in those and are taking advantage of the benefit of participating. Also, we've invited Alive members to present on Alive Academy as a form of professional development for our memberships, to get that chance to speak to a national audience and also to give back to the profession. So a big thanks to Katie and Liesel, two of our members who present here in Alive Academy. We also led the Impact Awards, so congratulations to the exemplary and emerging leaders who won our inaugural Impact Awards. So they're our new national award for volunteer engagement professionals, and I think long overdue. So it's a well-deserved honor for those who received it, and hopefully you'll be thinking of people to nominate in the coming year. We've also started communities of practice, so opportunities for people to come together and learn from peers serving a similar area or region or sector. And so far we've started off with 2 communities of practice, a rural community of practice, which Rebecca has been leading, and a larger multi-site community of practice that Allison has been taking on. So also an opportunity for any of our members, if you would love to create a group like this and bring people together around an area that you really care about, please reach out. We'd love to work with you to host that. We also launched the second round of the Alive Emerging Leaders Mentor Program to match those emerging volunteer engagement professional leaders with more experienced leaders in the field. So that's launched, and we'll continue that again. And big thanks to Paula, who's taking that on as a project.
Yay to all the Paulas.
Yes, so many Paulas. They're all wonderful.
All great Paulas.
Yes. And then looking to 2020, we have a lot of exciting plans. So one is just to continue to build on everything that we're doing. So with Rebecca and Allison continuing with the communities of practice, Jennifer continuing with the managing the Impact Awards, again, the mentor program continuing. Paula's also going to be working on helping with our Live Academy, really providing some consistency and making sure it's high quality to provide support to any of our presenters, as well as creating a host program. So there's always a consistent high quality experience for our members who watch that, and also making sure that we have really great programming offered. So a few sneak peeks, we're going to be having sessions on risk management, advocacy, engaging faith communities, measuring impact. We hope to continue having a mix of our members present, so please reach out if you'd love to present to us, as well as thought leaders from the field. So we have Barry Altland and Meridian Swift as a few examples of people who also will be presenting on those webinars. So great opportunity to hear from all of them. continuing communities practice, impact awards, mentor program, and also advocacy is really going to be a key focus for us in the beginning year. So we're actually right now recruiting an intern who will do some research for us on helping to really find out what else is going on in advocacy areas around volunteer engagement and how other associations do some of that work. And from there, we hope to be able to use that to really be able to educate members about advocacy issues and trends and legislation, and provide that information via quarterly webinars that will focus on topics related to advocacy, and then eventually quarterly newsletter articles that will talk about those components as well. And then lastly, just really hoping to increase member involvement in all these things. If you have ideas of things you would love for us to offer, please reach out, let us know. And if you want to get involved with any of this, reach out and let us know. We want it to be as easy as possible for people to get involved and help make us what we are, because this is really about all of our members.
Wonderful. Thanks, Michelle. Just incredible amount of work with that. And moving through, keeping on our time here. Great. Megan, you want to jump in with marketing report?
Sure. And Gretchen, also add in anything that you'd like to report as well. But we had another really successful Alive Happy Hour at the Points of Light Conference this past June. And so you can kind of see some of the great photos there from our members and friends that have attended, and also just really great engagement numbers across social media that we've been really working strongly to increase. And even, an example would be our Facebook numbers continue to increase more than 20% each year over the last few years. So we're just really trying to reach out to, our community and get them even more involved in Alive. So we're really trying hard to get our context and messaging out there. And Gretchen, I didn't know if there's anything else you wanted to add here.
Oh, no, I would just say if you're not connected with us in some way in social media, please do. And definitely we're actively looking for committee members for the marketing team for 2020. And if you've got a little bit of time to spend working on the committee, great. But if not, even just, sharing with your networks what you see in terms of announcements or what's going on. And I think this is a big way that we can also do some easy advocacy points here as well.
Yeah, and I want to give a special shout out to Audrey on the marketing committee, who's been wonderful with Instagram and other social media launching this year. So thanks for that. Sounds good. Anything else? Are we ready for next slide?
We can go to the next slide.
Good.
And I could just cover marketing real quickly. Anthony Richardson, who's our VP of Marketing, couldn't be here today, but wanted to just kind of briefly go over some of our accomplishments and continuing to carry through with our bi-monthly newsletters. And we've had great support from our board member, Karen, who's been, making sure those newsletters are getting out to all of you. And Dana also mentioned Audrey, and we thank Anthony as well as Jerome Tino, who have been helping in our marketing committee to really get this moving. We've increased our activity on Instagram, as Audrey has been a huge part of that, getting that set up and getting that going. And we also hosted that happy hour event, and we're continuing to increase presence throughout the country, where Gretchen has worked with other board members and even Alive members to help spread our messaging throughout those local associations, and Gretchen also attending herself in person. So we're appreciative of that. For 2020, we really want to strengthen our marketing committee. So if anyone is interested in that side with social media or newsletters, etc., we welcome you and invite you to join our committee there. We're continuing to kind of create a marketing toolkit, so that way those that want to have live information at their local events, we want to make it easy for you in order to do that. And then just working closely with membership on some of the initiatives that they have going on. We'd love to host another event again at the Points of Light Conference next year. And again, we want to just make sure that we're maintaining and enhancing our presence at events, as well as social media and other avenues that you can find us. So we just want to make it easy for you to get the content that you need from us. And we're going to work hard on marketing in order to do that. So those are kind of the the updates for our marketing.
Market updates from markets. Thanks. And we can't say this enough. Gretchen is absolutely priceless, invaluable as our association manager, our one contracted staff member, and again, a founding member of Alive for all of these years if we've existed in this form. And it's just, yeah, if each one of us could win the lottery and give Gretchen $1 million a year for the rest of her life, it still wouldn't be worth nearly what she gives to this organization, and just happens by fantastic coincidence to have a semi-retired mobile lifestyle. So that's part of that incredible value, is just her sparkling personality and knowledge in the field and dedication to this association as she goes in person across the country and, you know, makes these really important contacts and enhances and strengthens these relationships for us and the rest of us on the board and other members, as much as we travel around to regional conferences and also do this. We just simply cannot match up the number of contacts that Gretchen has created over the years. So this is me applauding. Hip hip hooray, so say we all. Yay! Thank you, Gretchen. Yay! And whenever you stop blushing or crying or choking or whatever's going on over there with emotion, taking all the virtual high fives, including from Shelly. Hey, Shelly. Then we can go to the next slide. Spare you further scrutiny. And this is really, you know, our invitation to all of you as members. You know, we're here for you. We're here with you. We're all part of this wonderful peer support network. And you have talent and wisdom and experience that we would love to tap into with our committees, their special projects. Specifically, as we're talking about the marketing committee, we're kind of having some folks term off and step away from that committee this year. So having more folks step into the marketing committee will be very exciting in 2020 and beyond. The membership committee and the programs and advocacy, you know, the robust work, the wonderful amount of work that's going on there. And again, just even sharing ideas or sharing a way to be involved in a special project. And in the next 8 months, just so you know, Gretchen will be in Nevada, Arizona, New Mexico, Texas, Alabama, Louisiana, Florida, Tennessee, Indiana, Ohio, all the Virginias, all the Carolinas, and Georgia. And so maybe she'll see you in person, and Denver in January. And I'll be in Ohio in December, and I'll be in Denver in January, and Arizona in January. So we'll all try to find ways to see each other, but you're much more likely to see Gretchen on the road than the rest of us, and California as well. But again, absolutely, you know, fill out an application or just email us an idea of a special project, a way to be involved, a way to benefit, even if you don't have the bandwidth to do it yourself. Putting it in our big virtual suggestion box is always helpful. And we're real people, we're right here. So you can email any of us individually or through our live email addresses, and you will get a response. info@volunteeralive.org is a great way to get started with that. Thank you so much. And I think we're ready for the next slide. Don't have any questions? Great. And just, yeah, opening it up to questions in the chat.
And this is Gretchen. I go back to the question we had earlier, which is a better place to ask here. Shirley Conger asked, what is the difference between budget and actual? So do you want me to go back to that slide, Megan, or do you just want to put that in the chat?
Sure. Well, what we've provided for the slides is our budget. So it's budget to budget. So technically the actuals are not listed there. For the actuals, if you take the actuals so far this year, since we aren't finished with the year yet in terms of our actuals, but we're very much right on track. We have not gone over budget. We stay within the budget that we budgeted for, because we also want to make sure that we're maintaining a healthy reserve as well, and making sure that we have money left over throughout what we budget and the actuals, so that way we can put it towards our reserves. So we haven't kind of put the actual out there, but that's kind of what we do through the finance committee, as well as the board, who goes through the budget every month and the actuals that Brian puts together for us so we can review and then make sure that we're all on track. So.
Great, good to know. Thanks so much, Megan. And again, Sean's about to step in and do an amazing job in our treasurer role as well. Any other questions from anyone who's joined us today? And if you can't think of one now to put in the chat box and it pops into your head the moment we all sign off this meeting, just email it to the info email, and Gretchen or I or Megan will address it or get it to the committee chair or member that has the answer for you. Jason's asking how we are also awesome, and my answer is because we learned how from you. That's how we're awesome, is because Jason has set that example of awesomeness over the years. And again, I want to credit Emily Bromett-Bauer. She was a friend and mentor years ago, and she got me involved with the board of Alive. I was a member, and she really got me and Jason involved with the work on the board in 2013. And, we haven't looked back, and Jason and I've really shared a vision and possibly shared a brain across the country. And it's been delightful. And again, we're each going to be involved in committees and, gladly hand over the reins to an absolutely competent and very, very talented new executive committee team and board slate going into 2020. I think we're good. Anything else that any of our board members who have audio would like to add, if there's no other questions? Great. It's been kind of a love fest of a meeting. That's fine with me. Works. I love it when meetings are love fests. It's great. Great, Karen. I'm glad you got good information out of this. We're absolutely, you're very welcome. We're glad to be here for you again. We're on this together. This is our peer network to learn, to vent, to be there for each other. And we're strong and wonderful because of our wonderful members. Oh, welcome. Welcome, Heather. You joined a really good meeting. Yes. Thanks, Faiza. Good times. Great. Megan, or Gretchen, is there anything else that you'd like to add or shout out?
There's a couple more slides too, because I know we only have a few minutes left.
Yeah, I kind of want to get to it. Great. Yep, that's what I figured. So yeah, as you're doing your holiday shopping this year, it's really easy. We have an Amazon Smile account. You can make a donation that's tax deductible, but you can use Amazon Smile or eBay for charity. And if you're doing some online shopping anyway, that's a great way to support the work that we're doing with Alive, in addition to if you feel like doing any donations on top of membership fees, that's wonderful as well. But I think the Amazon Smile bookmark, Gretchen's going to post. Yeah, Gretchen, I do too. I have the Amazon Smile for Alive bookmarked. Makes it really, really easy to do that shopping as our jobs tend to get busier this time of year. Don't know about any of you, but that's how my pattern's been. Great.
And I will say, Dana, just quickly, you can always go to our website where volunteeralive.org/donate. It has the directions on how to make Alive the organization that they will contribute to when you make those purchases. So we try to make it really easy, so you can just go there, see quickly how to set it up, and then just going forward, use smile.amazon.com, and then anytime you purchase something, Alive gets a small portion of donation back from Amazon. So it's just a really easy way. So if you're shopping on Amazon this holiday season, make sure you put us in there for the organization that receives a donation, because we really appreciate it, and it's an easy way for us to just continue to collect revenue for our programming.
Perfect, thanks. Yeah, and our most immediate Alive Academy, as Michelle was mentioning, coming up with Leah. Leah's great. I've met her a couple of years ago presenting in Wisconsin, and I'm excited that she's going to be presenting at our Alive Academy on December 4th. And if you're a member, hey, it's free. If you've got friends or colleagues and you want to have them tune in and they're not members of Alive yet, very, very reasonable, $25 to join it. But for your members, absolutely free. This is part of that benefit. And in January, we'll be covering risk management and February advocacy. Michelle, did you want to pop on with anything else about these Alive Academies?
I think basically what I've already shared, that if you, like Leo, want to present to your peers, please let us know. And if there's a topic you really want to see, we're always open to ideas. We kind of have a rough agenda for the first 6 months and are working in penciling in the second 6 months of the year. So stay tuned for marking your calendar.
Wonderful. And I also want to shout out to any of our members who are on the meeting today, or tell your peers, if any of you are going to be at the Points of Light conference in Washington, D.C. in June, and especially if you're going to be presenting any workshops or any sessions, absolutely let us know, and we're happy to feature you in upcoming newsletters as we want to promote what our members are doing and how you are leaders in our field as well. Just let us know when you're up to stuff like that regionally, but particularly at Points of Light. And we're really glad that all of you took some precious time and joined us today. And we look forward to working with you more in the future. And you're going to really enjoy Megan Vixie's leadership with our new board slate. Anything else, Megan or Gretch? Oh yeah, Heather's saying a neat member resource might be tips from those who have been invited to present at Points of Light for those of us who would eventually like to present, things about what you feel has helped you be selected. I could certainly do that. I was at Points of Light last year and have been over the years, and I'm going to be presenting again this year. So I don't know, maybe I can convince Michelle to squeak me into the program schedule before June or after, anytime this year, if that's okay with Michelle. Yeah. I mean, I don't have the behind the scenes secrets. We actually don't know anyone on this. We didn't know very many people on the selection panel. I didn't know about that, but we can pool together with myself, and I know Faiza and Ben Bisbee and a few others in the field who've Beth Steinhorn. So we might be able to pool some resources and say, here's what we think they tend to look for, but you know, it's always quite changeable. But thanks so much, everyone. And yeah, and Heather, keep going, or we'll do your presentation maybe as one of our live academies coming up. Thanks again, everyone.
Yes, everyone, thank you for your time today, and we appreciate your membership, and we look forward to 2020. And if there's anything that we can do for you, please let us know. But I think otherwise we are complete for today. Gretchen, unless there's anything else, but I think that's it.
Wonderful. Thanks so much. Thanks,
I think we're good. Thank you, everybody, and have a great rest of the week.
You too. Take care.
Thank you.
Happy Thanksgiving too.